Hello, this is Bright Spark, and welcome to part 2 of the Rift of Shadows. Let's get right into it. So we left off with Hawkwing hunting down Darktail, who has gone off into the forest and is missing again. See, Hawkwing is worried because earlier he caught Darktail speaking to a rogue, and his suspicion that something bad happened with the encounter, either something harming Darktail or him being captured or something else like that. Needless to say, Darktail was fine. He actually was the cat responsible for the rogue. He was their leader. That's right, guys. Darktail is still evil, but not in the ways you would expect. As you can see, we all know Darktail's backstory, except if you haven't read Vision of Shadows, which you shouldn't be watching this because of major spoilers, or even Hawkwing's journey, or... Wait, there's a Darktail Super Edition coming out? Help, this was supposed to be a possibility. Hooray, I need to make this happen with the new information we will get. Yay! Anyway, so this is an alternate universe. Smoke, Darktail's mom, and One Star, who is One Whisker at the time, were together around the time the clans were starving and their territory had been overrun by a two-leg, so I adjusted the times a little bit. One Whisker had been essentially seeing Smoke as this was happening, and Smoke eventually had Darktail. She brought him to One Whisker, wanting to join the clans, even naming her kit as a warrior name. But One Whisker not only didn't want to see his fragile little mate struggle in the clans, even though they couldn't get food themselves, he was starving, and deep down, he knew he couldn't bring more cats into his clan. He also knew this would harm his place in his clan if anyone found out, especially, Whitetail. He scared them off as a decision, baring his teeth, saying how disappointed and disgusted he was with both of them. Darktail was a younger kid at the time, but he remembered all of it. Smoke took him back to the two-leg place and ultimately decided against her soft life as a kitty pet. She felt like she needed to be someone tougher, since One Whisker essentially exposed her. She took her kit and they lived like loners, traveling throughout the two-leg place. They met cats, stayed away from rogues, and Smoke taught Darktail as he grew up. Warrior moves she had learned from his father. She fed him and his desire to take revenge against him, and all of the clans. Darktail was more sensible than this, though. He was older and could think more about things. He knew it was One Whisker's fault, and potentially WindClan's too. But as the two were strolling by on the road one day, a monster came barreling down the street, killing Smoke right in front of Darktail's young eyes. He mourned her death, spiraling into what-ifs. What if his father allowed them to be in the clan? Would they starve? Would they be kicked out? What if he did something differently? What if they took a different path, or even stayed kitty pets? Darktail's rage soon boiled over. He trained hard, trained as if every breath he took was meant to destroy the one cat who made all this happen, One Whisker. He set out on a journey and eventually tumbled upon a small kit who had strayed from his mother. Seeing himself in the kit's position, he helped him reunite with the queen. The queen thanked him and promised she would do anything to repay him. See, saving the kit awoke something in him. He had a new purpose, as well as revenge. He would not turn away from those who needed his help. With this new purpose, he hunted down a powerful rogue, leading a group of cats to attack the nearby two-leg place from the advice from the queen and her kit. He ambushed him and got rid of the rogue fairly quickly, his training put to good use. The other cats ran or hid or even tried to fight, and they got close to defeating him, except the queen saved Darktail at the last moment. They managed to take hold of the cats, and Darktail told the rogues about his purpose. He named this small group of cats the Kin, saying they would look after each other like they shared the same blood. The cats respected him, feared him. It was time to take what Darktail was owed. Later on, after more recruiting, he met Hawkwing, who saved him. Not knowing much of SkyClan, he joined, and he got information. He liked SkyClan, but they weren't going to help him if he showed his true intentions. So he began to form his plan, to take his friends and their kits and bring them to the Kin, to a place where they wouldn't be in harm's way. They would be treated like gold. And this is where we find Hawkwing, looking for Darktail. Hawkwing searches throughout the night, but gives up. He decides to stand patrol outside the camp to wait for his friend, and even if he would come back. But Darktail would, with an army to conquer SkyClan. Alright, that's it. Here's the finished piece. Bye!